March 12, 2025, Bolan Pass, Balochistan, Pakistan. Day 2 of the train hijack. In the last two coaches of Jafar Express, the Balochi militants hid behind a human shield of hostages, leaving Pakistani commandos baffled on how to eliminate them.
Can anyone think of a plan?
36 hours ago, March 11, 2025, 1:30 p.m. It had been 4 hours since Peshawar-bound Jafar Express had started from Quetta in Balochistan, with 400 passengers in 9 bogies, mostly army regulars, on their way home for their Eid break. Just as it was about to enter tunnel number 8 of 17 on its way, the train's engine lurched violently, then halted at the mouth of the tunnel amid huge plumes of thick black smoke. A horrid scene unfolded as the train's fuel tank ruptured, leading to more blasts that led to the derailing of 4 coaches. Inside, the shocked passengers were thrown from their seats. Just then, on elevated ridges overlooking the tracks, 2 groups of militants of the Baloch Liberation Army, the Combat Wing Fateh Squad, armed with rocket launchers and AK-47s, and the Suicide Wing Majid Brigade, armed with suicide vests, were waiting just for this moment. Just a few hours ago, these dreaded insurgents planted 8 IEDs, improvised explosive devices, underneath that railway track. Now, using the cover of boulders and shrubs, around 200 fighters descended. Surrounding the train, they fired indiscriminately. Pakistan's railway police also counterfired from inside, but ran out of ammunition after 90 minutes, even as the fully prepared militants kept firing. These personnel in the train were Balochistan Levies, a paramilitary force with no proper counter-terrorism training. Cashing in on the opportunity, militants smashed the train windows and doors and stormed in. And after checking the ID cards of passengers,
All Balochis, you go and spread the word of Balochistan struggle. All women, children and old people, you also leave the train. Fast! But you soldiers, police and Punjabi men, you will go to the last 2 coaches.
Yet 2 brave Punjabi passengers tried to resist, but the militants executed them on the spot, while their commander dialed the Pakistan government.
We have 214 passengers under hostage on Jafar Express. Release all 1,500 Baloch political prisoners within 48 hours or we will execute all hostages. Wait, we should work towards a resolution. Please don't harm the hostages.
But Pakistani military dictator Asim Munir took the attack as a hit on his ego, and rather than having a dialogue,
My army will crush them. No negotiations, no release of prisoners. If you harm hostages, you will have to face the full force of the state.
However, frontier corps who were part of the operation have just been trained for border patrolling, and only SSG commandos had anti-terrorism combat expertise. Yet, 2 teams of frontier corps and only 1 team of SSG were dispatched by 3 different routes to reach Bolan, 120 kilometers away from Quetta, their nearest station. The frontier corps quick reaction force took the lone single-lane highway N65, braving narrow valleys, steep gradients and dust storms, while the cargo train with the 2nd backup army force stopped 12 kilometers away from the attack site, fearing more IEDs might blow up. From there, the troops with their heavy ammunition travelled on foot through the rugged valleys of Bolan Pass. And the 3rd team, the SSG commandos, were airlifted from Quetta to Bolan. It was taking them such a long time that the hostages were now shuddering and fearing for their life, especially as the BLA terrorists had already executed 21 hostages for the delay, while moving many of them to nearby caves in the Bolan Pass in a bid to spread their risks. Finally, after 4 hours of travel, the first frontier commando troops arrived and prioritized creating a 5-kilometer cordon around the train. But before we see the thrilling shootout inside the train between the commandos and the insurgents, and how Pakistan has failed the Baloch people and is now failing to control the insurgency, let's take a moment to know more about the Kata Laga girl, Shefali Jariwala, who passed away recently at a young age of 42. Did you know that Asha Parekh was the actress in the original version of this song in the 1970s? And when Shefali Jariwala was chosen for this item number, she was paid a mere 7,000 rupees for it in 2002. But one thing is clear. Trendsetters like Malaika Arora with Chaya Chaya and Shefali Jariwala with Kata Laga made item numbers a permanent feature in Bollywood films. This and much more in the new video posted on our Bollywood channel Falling for Films. Link to Shefali Jariwala video in the end screen. The sun had set now, and the SSG commandos on the ridges had to employ thermal imaging drones that use heat signals to distinguish between hostages and militants in the dark. And even after identifying the militants' position, they had to pause the mission for the night.
We can't risk any more lives of hostages. Let's gear up for an early morning assault.
They remained alert in the cordon and on the ridges through the night, while the hostage Punjabis and police officers spent the night in fear and uncertainty. The next morning, March 12th, 6 a.m. In the clear morning light, from a distance of 500 meters, snipers eliminated a few suicide bombers hiding in their caves, their first success. But breaching the train was tougher, so commandos resorted to using flashbang grenades to enter with force. The drones had already gauged the location of militants. One is hiding on the side berth in the compartment ahead of you. In a close quarter shootout, commandos eliminated many militants, but the militants shot back fiercely, killing commandos as well. As despite Frontier Corps forces deploying jammers to block militant communications, the BLA maintained contact with Afghan handlers via satellite phones, enabling real-time adjustments to their defense. And in a counter move, detonating additional IDs hidden under the tracks just outside the tunnel entrance, surprising the commandos inside, who faced more casualties due to the blast. Commandos then split into two teams. While Team A leapfrogged past compartments, hiding for cover first, Team B distracted the militants with gunfiring and flashbang grenades, even as Team A came out of nowhere and shot the militants. But those last two coaches were still left to be cleared, where the militants with suicide vests had created a human shield of innocent hostages. Can anyone think of a plan? The trained commandos had a trick up their sleeves. They entered the compartment with ballistic shields to absorb gunfire from militants. When the militants exhausted cartridges and began to reload magazines, the faster commandos immediately aimed and shot them down. Finally, the SSG snipers took over and shot the militants wearing suicide vests in the head before they could detonate their vests. And after 30 hours of battle, the siege finally ended. While Pakistani officials claimed 33 militants were killed and 354 hostages rescued, the BLA disputed these figures, claiming they had killed 50 security forces and all 214 hostages. Some militants ran away through the maze of caves and tunnels in the Bolan Pass after the siege, evading the army's post-operation sweep. Near the caves, Pakistani forces recovered advanced US-manufactured weapons from the site that BLA militants had bought from Afghanistan's black market, left behind by US troops when they hastily exited Afghanistan in 2021. Sharing borders with Balochistan, Afghanistan's Taliban government is known to provide safe havens to Baloch separatists. But Pakistan's military, which boasts of its omnipotent presence and swiftness in counter-terrorism, their intelligence not just completely failed to anticipate such a hijack in a well-known hotspot for Baloch insurgency, but even the personnel guarding inside the train didn't have ammunition or proper training to counter it. Munir's refusal to have a dialogue to buy time with the insurgents, only one unit of elite SSG anti-terrorism forces, and maybe that's why the siege took 30 hours? The Frontier Corps forces' lack of capability to fight inside trains or even securing the caves all made it a disastrous mission for Pakistan. Especially after a recent string of insurgent attacks, most prominent by a suicide bomber blowing himself up at Quetta railway station, killing over 30 people in November 2024. The insurgency's root go back to 1948, when the Khanate of Kalat, a Baloch state, wanted to break free from the newly formed Pakistan and become independent. But Pakistan's military brutally crushed the Baloch rebellion in the 1950s and even later in the 1970s. Even after Pakistan's first democratic elections in 1970, when Balochistan's first state government tried to bring reforms and address grievances of its people, the supposedly secular democratic Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto dismissed the provincial government. The insurgency then aggravated 3 decades later in the early 2000s with the emergence of Baloch Liberation Army, where a prominent BLA leader Nawab Akbar Bukti was killed allegedly by the military, and after the entry of the Chinese to build Gwadar port under CPEC. That displaced Baloch locals and prioritized hiring Punjabi and Chinese labor. While Pakistan keeps blaming India and Afghanistan for fueling Baloch separatists, it's only to distract the world from its own fanning of fire through forced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, and military operations. Pakistan's policies are designed to maximize extraction of its biggest state, Balochistan's rich natural resources, including rare earth minerals, ignoring the common Balochis who remain poor, lacking even basic infrastructure like proper schools and hospitals. who don't even get any legit democracy as the 2024 elections were rigged there. Letting Pakistan People's Party candidate Sarfraz Bukti win unopposed, who is believed to be closely aligned with Pakistan's military. Unless Pakistan addresses this extreme discontent among the Baluchis, it will keep fueling the insurgency. Bizbo's limerick. The Balochis feel slighted by Pakistan's greed to mine their resources for outsiders' needs. So they hijacked a train and caused them pain to show their oppressors that they too can bleed. You will also find these sources listed in our video description section.